here's an incredible fact for you. More than 80% of the plants and animals that are found in this bay, Victoria's Port Phillip Bay, are found nowhere else in the world but here. Which is why people like Peter and Carol Bathie love nothing more than donning the scuba gear and immersing themselves in the underwater world. So guys, what is it about Port Phillip Bay that keeps bringing you back here?
Oh, the endless variety. Every time we dive.
Clear water when it's clear, and lots and lots of variety of fish. There's all sorts of fish in here. Every time you dive, you don't even know what you're going to see.
To Peter and Carol, their underwater cameras are as important as their oxygen tanks. How else can they capture their wonderful adventures? So Peter, this is the special camera you use?
Yeah, it's an acrylic housing. It's rated to about 45 metres, and it's got a mini DV digital camera inside it. It's got a dome port at the front which helps with your wide angle. It's got a microphone on the top. This control here works your zoom. That's a manual automatic. That's your record button, and that's your on-off button.
With their gear at the ready, it's time for our underwater adventurers to hit the water. The underwater world really is an amazing place, and over the past few years, Peter and Carol have come across some incredible creatures. Now, Peter, how difficult is it to film underwater? I mean, fish don't just stop still for you, do they?
No, we've got lots and lots of footage of fish swimming away and tails going away into the distance. But yeah, what you've got to do is you've got to be really slow and quiet and just crawl along the bottom till you see something. What we usually do is we're on wide angle, and then we get really, really as close as possible as we can, then we start shooting. And that way we pick up the texture and you can actually see eye movement.
So you almost need to sneak up on them.
You've got to sneak up on them and be really quiet. You breathe really slow, so steady, because sometimes if you breathe too hard, the bubbles will actually scare the fish away.
Cuttlefish are my favourite creatures. They're just so interactive. The colour changes that they have are just magnificent.
They change colour to camouflage, don't they?
That's right. They can blend with the sand or with seaweed, whatever the background is, that's what they blend to be. They've got a lovely mantle around the edge of them, and it floats in the water. It frills out like a skirt blowing in the wind. Octopus are pretty special creatures. They're so interactive.
Curious creatures?
Very curious creatures, and touching too. They're very sensile animals. We've actually seen them crawl up pylons. You see their suckers, use them as traction up the pylon, and when they pounce on their prey, their flaps just spread over and encase the prey. Really the poor crab inside just hasn't got a hope. It's got no escape. Angel sharks are a fairly rare creature. They're difficult to spot because what they usually like to do is hide in the sand. So they're camouflaged with sand over the top of them. Old wife perform a cleaning function on some fish. It's very rare to catch this footage.
Almost have to take off the parasites.
Yeah, little parasites and things that get in amongst the gills and scales of different fish. Sea dragons are a special creature, really. It's just like seahorses, it's the male that carries the eggs, and they carry the eggs under the tail. Once the baby hatches out, it's a complete replica of the adult, only in miniature. You can pick the juvenile because they actually have a little beard that hangs down off the snout. Now, obviously, this is a tasty morsel for predators to chew on, because I've never ever seen an adult with this beard on the snout, these little appendages on the snout.
How does diving here in Port Phillip Bay compare to other places you've dived around Australia?
Well, Kylie, we've dived a lot of places around Australia, but Port Phillip Bay is our favourite. It's unique and it's diverse. We've always got movement with the seaweed here, and with our cameras, that's what we're looking for, movement in front of the camera, and there's colour and diversity.
Well, I might not have my scuba diving ticket, but after seeing all that wonderful vision that Peter and Carol have captured, I've been inspired to don the snorkel and mask and check out the wonderful underwater world of Port Phillip Bay for myself.